Today we're out in Brentwood, Tennessee because it was reported that zones 13 and 15 are shorted from the control box. We're going to go look for the valves, figure out what the problem is, and fix the problem. Let's get started. There's the 551. I'm getting ready to search for the valves. I walked past these valve boxes as I was walking back there. I wanted to come back and count how many valves are in these boxes because I'll determine how many of the valves are on this part of the system before I start going to look for valves somewhere on the property. Our problem might be in one of these three boxes. Before I can determine that and how many valves are in the boxes, I'm going to go grab my shovel and clean this up a bit so that these boxes are easy to open and close. There's quite a bit of water in the boxes. We did have some rain, so that could be why. We'll look into that as well. I'd say that looks a lot better. We have 3 valves in this box, 5 in this box, and 1 in that box. That gives us 9 valves out here. I also now know that zones 13 and 15 likely water the front yard. More specifically, probably the island, according to the homeowner who met with me while I was cleaning all of this up for him. Now that we've got this all cleaned up, I'm going to pop open all of those boxes, go connect the locator to the controller that's around the corner over there, and see if one of these 9 valves rather, are 13 and 17, the valves I need to look for. The work order says 13 and 15 are shorted. I just said 13 and 17 are shorted. The controller is saying 10 and 13 are shorted. One thing's for sure, 13 is shorted. The other one is 10, according to the controller. Again, I'm going to use the multimeter to verify that. We've got our probes on the common wire and number 10. We've got 5.2 ohms. That's definitely shorted. Now we have the probes on the common wire and number 13. We're showing 1.3, definitely shorted. Let's check 17 and 15, the other 2 zones that I mysteriously thought were the problem. We've got the probes on common and 15. We've got a good solenoid. That's a Rainbird solenoid. Now we have the probes on common and 17. Another good solenoid. Again, a Rainbird solenoid, a little bit higher ohms. We're gonna get the tracker connected to number 10 and then go identify that valve over in that valve cluster over there if it is. I'm really hoping it is because that'll make it I'm really hoping it is. That'll make the whole job a lot easier. We'll just swap out 2 solenoids and be done because I believe that's what the problem is. I love this little tempo stubby. It's great for getting the wires out of the controller when you're getting ready to connect your alligator clips. How do I have my tracker hooked up? I have it hooked up because I don't have a ground source, which would be way over there. I guess I could use the water line. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to track directly on the common wire and the wire going to zone number 10. There are 2 common wires here. This one is actually coming out of a different wire bundle in the back there. This one is coming out of the same wire bundle as the yellow. We're going to go ahead and track it this way. If I have trouble with this, I will connect that other common wire here, which doesn't hurt anything. I'm just trying to be right on the same wire that is likely going to the set of valves out front there. It's definitely going to zone 10. We'll go ahead and turn on our tracker. We're going to take the multimeter over to the valve so we can identify which one of them is zone 10. We're going to use the tracker to make sure that zone 10 is in that cluster of valves over there before we pull out the multimeter. We're going to bring both tools with us because I don't like walking back and forth. There's my cluster of valves over there. I want to show you something. The way that I have the tracker hooked up is going to light up just the valve that I'm looking for, like a Christmas tree. You can see I have this thing turned way up. The pointer's pointing at the power button right now. You don't hear anything. When we get over to the valve cluster, oh, bingo. And it'll tell you 100% on that valve. Now, I want to say it's that valve on the left, judging by you hear that? How it's skipping over that one? I think it's the valve on the left. I'm going to take my multimeter out and I'm going to test the wires. I should have voltage coming from my tracker to that solenoid. Let's check. I started testing with my multimeter. I realized somebody has daisy chained the crap out of this common wire. I stopped and I'm going to clean up all of these wires before I continue to troubleshoot because I'm not a fan of daisy chaining. We're going to get all of those wires connected under one wire nut. Just one. This common wire had 1, 2, 3, 4 wire nuts on it. When I'm finished here, it will have 1. Now, I can test all of these wires without fighting with wire nuts and a bunch of crazy junctions. I also removed some of the extra wire inside of this box. I know that I preach, leave extra wire behind. There is a limit. I was definitely wrong about which one it was going to be. It's actually this one here on the right. That's valve number 10. We'll go ahead and switch out that solenoid now and then test it again to see if valve number 10 will turn on. Let's start by clearing the alarm on the back of this ESP ME3. Press that button right there. Guess I didn't press it hard enough. Let's go ahead and try that again. That'll reset the controller. Then we'll go to manual water, zone 10. We're gonna go take a look and see if zone 10, the rotor zone out by the road, is working. And that should be bingo. Zone 10 is doing its job. Let's turn that off and let's fix zone 13. There's the new solenoid for number 10 on the right there. I thought 13 might be in here. Before I even started troubleshooting it, I had to cut out another one of these daisy chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wire nuts on this one. Get this crap out of here. Now we've got 1 wire nut for the common wire. Just one. Makes it a lot easier to troubleshoot. Now let's identify which one is number 13 and get that one changed out. I knew 13 couldn't be in that box because I already checked all of those and refreshed all of those connections. As I was refreshing these connections, I tested each one of the solenoids before I put it all back together. So I knew it had to be this one. I was right. I can prove that by using the multimeter on this solenoid. I have it wired up to it right now. Here's one lead, the other one's down there. We're getting 0.5 ohms. That means this solenoid is shot. We'll go ahead and install a brand new solenoid and test the zone. Before we test the zone, I do want to mention that the rain sensor is wet. That is why those valve boxes are full of water. I did check, I did a pressure test. There is no mainline leak. It was just the rain. Let's go ahead and turn on zone number 13 and see what happens. We should have a spray zone on right around the same area that rotor zone we fixed earlier was at. Sure enough, there it is. Zones 10 and 13 are fixed. On to the next one.